What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, on this beautiful Sunday, it's a new type video for my channel. But not a new video. I'm not reinventing the wheel. We're going to be taking a look at Madden career simulations. Now, career sims have been popping off for quite a bit in the 2K bubble. If you're a fan of watching NBA 2K content creators, you're well aware of career sims, and it has spilled over as of late into Madden. I know Param Crow has been doing career sims for the last like 2-3 years. Very good videos. I know Bengal and Jerome PKR have been doing sims of players that are currently in the NFL. And then, of course, not just trying to copy and paste other stuff. I always want to put my own spin on things. And given the fact that I'm kind of like the draft class guy, why not do some rookies? Guys that are going to be rookies next year, 2021, players that are in college, and see what their NFL career amounts to. And if you're going down that direction, there is a clear and obvious first player you need to do, and that is Trevor Lawrence. So we are here first at the 2021 NFL Draft, pick number 1 overall with the Jets. Now, for this, to make it not just like a different rebuild, I have turned on all the settings so that it's all CPU. I cannot control who they sign in free agency. I cannot control if they decide to re-sign any of the players. There is a complete opportunity here for Trevor Lawrence to not get re-signed by the Jets at the end of his rookie contract, and then we move on to another team, and we get to see what Trevor Lawrence is doing. Maybe finally reunites and goes to Atlanta, back to his hometown. But we will start here, where it all starts and it all begins for franchise quarterbacks, the number 1 overall pick. The only trade that I did make for this team was I did get rid of Sam Darnold. I was able to flip Sam Darnold to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a second-round pick and everything else. So in free agency, we signed Duke Johnson, Josh Gordon, and on the defensive side, they also brought in Bowser and Pernell McPhee. So those are the 4 free agents that the computer decided to sign before we get into the selection of the man that hopefully can make New York the best team in New Jersey in the NFL. So number 1 overall, let's get this pick out of the way. Trevor Lawrence, football Jesus, whatever you want to call him. He is as good of a quarterback prospect as I have ever seen. I mean, a lot of people want to compare him to Andrew Luck when Andrew Luck was coming out of Stanford. Very similar, honestly, very, very similar. I think Trevor Lawrence might not be as pro-ready, I guess, which is weird because he is very much pro-ready, but maybe not as pro-ready as Andrew Luck, but he does have the success in college that Andrew Luck didn't really. I mean, Andrew Luck was a very good college quarterback and had some success with Stanford, but not the levels that Trevor Lawrence was able to hit with Clemson. And so it is going to be a completely different situation here because, Andrew Luck, those guys are always going to be intertwined, but Andrew Luck was coming in essentially to replace Peyton Manning. Trevor Lawrence is coming in to replace a franchise. He has to rebuild this franchise pretty much by himself with his own brand and his own play style and elevate the players around him. So with that being said, Trevor Lawrence at pick number 1, franchise quarterback of the Jets. Let's get into the career sim of Trevor Lawrence. So for a draft recap after the Trevor Lawrence selection, let's see how Joe Douglas and company handled their business for the New York Jets. We had the second first-round pick, which is from the Jamal Adams trade, and they were able to get, hopefully, a franchise tackle to kick over to the right side because Mekhi Becton has been outstanding, and that is Sam Cosmi from Texas. Second round, we got Eric Stokes, the corner from Georgia, to try to help out Brian Poole back there. Rashad Bateman slipping into the second round, a guy a lot of people have pigeoned into the first round out of Minnesota, but pigeonholed no more after slipping a little bit, was banged up, slipping into the second round. That's still great value. Adds to the wide receiver core of Jamison Crowder, who's sensational as a slot wide receiver, and you got the big playability of the young playmaker out of Baylor in Denzel Mims. We got Charlie Kolar from Iowa State, just getting the Big Ten players, I guess, here. Nice tight end for sure. We got Deontay Brown from Alabama at guard. Terrace Marshall Jr. from wide receiver, slipping to the 4th round, much like Rashad Bateman. 2 value picks at wide receiver here for the Jets, clearly with an ambition to improve the offense with a lot of those picks going heavy on the offensive side of the ball. They got Nick Bolton out of Missouri, who most likely will kick into a middle linebacker role. I'm not sure why the computer drafted him as an outside linebacker, as they are in a 3-4 scheme. They got Jamar Jefferson, 64 overall running back at Oregon State, and they finish up the draft in the 6th round with Parker White, the kicker from South Carolina. But it all comes down on the shoulders of this man, Trevor Lawrence. So for year 1 for Trevor Lawrence, and what is hopefully going to end up a Hall of Fame career, here is his starting lineup, built around him on the offensive side of the ball. We got Becton there at left tackle. The interior of the line It's not amazing by any means. We'll make Deontay Brown there, the rookie out of Alabama, the starting right guard. But generally speaking, that is a little bit of a soft middle. Could be in business for another core day. Throw in a couple more ab days to strengthen up that middle. But we get Cosme at right tackle. So you're hoping we have two long-term plays there at offensive tackle. Charlie Kolar, the rookie of Iowa State, will be our starting tight end with him and Herndon. We got Josh Gordon, Jamison Crowder in the slot, Rashad Bateman, Denzel Mims, Brashad Perriman, and Terrence Marshall Jr., the rookie from LSU, all filling out. Generally, that's a lot of depth at wide receiver. Absolutely a lot of depth at wide receiver. I'm a little conflicted about going with a proven commodity as long as he can stay on the field in Josh Gordon, or do we just trust we go with the young guys and go with Bateman and getting Denzel Mims a lot more snaps to help out his development. Running backs, it's you got your gadget guy, I guess, in Duke Johnson. Isn't more of an all-purpose back than he is a traditional running back, and the depth behind it is not amazing. Even though I'm a Gator fan, P. Ryan was a Gator, and Josh Adams was at one point 2 years ago the leading rusher on the Philadelphia Eagles. I probably could help him out just a little bit there at running back. Would have been nice if Joe Douglas and the I decided to help us out there. Defense is a quick look. Everything there, if you are aware of the Jets depth chart, essentially remains the same outside of the two outside linebackers, Bowser and McPhee. We signed in free agency. Eric Stokes, the corner from Georgia, will have an opportunity to get some nice snaps on the outside, as well as Poole as our slot corner. But generally speaking, all of our attention will be focused here on the offensive side of the ball. Let's see what Trevor Lawrence can do in his rookie season. And at the end of year one for Trevor Lawrence and the New York Jets, they finished 7-9, second place in the AFC East, very much in 2020, looking like a team that could go 0-16 with the addition of Trevor Lawrence and generally a very good and strong draft from Joe Douglas, the general manager. It has put the Jets in, they might have been like the most improved team in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence is now an 84 with a superstar dev after, we'll see his stat line there for the season, but generally, you probably assume it was pretty good if he was able to dig that team up from the dirt. Bateman had a hidden dev. It was a star. Cosme had a hidden dev. It was a superstar. So we hopefully, if the Jets front office, if the AI here can properly run this organization, we have like three of the most important pieces of an offense here with two tackles, two franchise tackles, and a franchise quarterback. On the defensive side of the ball, I don't think any of the rookies there had a hidden dev. No, it was only Stokes. So let's see what Trevor Lawrence did in his first year with the Jets, taking them to a 7-9 record. Unfortunately, not making the playoffs there, but that's not bad. 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Didn't have much of a run game to rely on. Jamison Crowder feasted from the slot. 91 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. 8-7 for Josh Gordon, 750-2 for Bateman, 7-4 for the rookie Charlie Kolar, which is not bad. Yearly awards for the MVP. Matt Ryan won the MVP, at least more so. Let's look at the rookies. Offensive Rookie of the Year clearly will be going to Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields may very well be the second player that we do for this series. But it's nice seeing, so far 1 for 1 for almost the highest realistic award that Trevor Lawrence could win. Kolar coming in at number 6, Rashad Bateman at number 7. So year one is in the books. I think, outside of, I don't even think anyone would expect the Jets to make the playoffs in that quickly of a turnaround. But year one for Trevor Lawrence, off to a very good start. So going into year two, I looked to see what my what my team signed in terms of free agents, and we got no one. That's cool. We signed no one. Definitely didn't need any of these guys on the Jets roster. I swear to God, this is just another thing that's broken in Madden. This will be the mulligan year, I suppose. But we signed guys last year. I didn't sign any of those players. I didn't sign Duke Johnson. I didn't sign Josh Gordon. So maybe just straight up my team didn't want to sign anybody. The draft wasn't bad. Honestly, for a second, I was expecting like the back end, like the last 3-4 picks to be guys in the 50s that were butt cheeks. I double checked, there was no dev traits to be had, but in the first round, we had 2 first-round picks. We got Jawan Beasley out of Boston College, middle linebacker there to help out with the aging core of C.J. Mosley, and that's pretty much it. And then we also brought in a running back, as we did not re-sign Duke Johnson. He was just here on a 1-year deal. So we got Gordon Booth from Utah, 5'10", 190, elusive back, a scheme fit, 92 speed, 92 acceleration. The carry at 85 is not too bad. 86 change of direction, a shifty back, which hopefully can alleviate some of the pressure so Trevor Lawrence doesn't have to burden the whole responsibility of this offense early in his career. Year 2 for Trevor Lawrence here in New York, and we'll just focus on the offensive side of the ball. Not a lot of changes. Offensive line remains intact. Tight ends and skill positions, for the most part, are what we had last season. Denzel Mims will get a chance, though, to step up in his production and take over for Josh Gordon's reps. And our first-round pick, Gordon Booth, out of Utah. I'm excited to see if he can help add some balance to our offense here for Trevor Lawrence. Year 2 for Trevor Lawrence, and we got some Jeff Fisher going on. 7-9 bullshit, back-to-back seasons, which, I mean, I guess is kind of like back up to the norm for the Jets over the last decade or so. And I know that it must pain a lot of Jet fans to still look up in that top right-hand corner and see Adam Gase as the coach. I mean, whatever. The coach doesn't really matter, even though Adam Gase absolutely should not still be our coach. But at the end of year 2, at least, we're not brutal. We're not very bad. Trevor Lawrence is a 90 overall quarterback right now with the morale boost. Everything else on the offense looks fine. I mean, I don't even think we're going to get dev traits just by simming it, but, I mean, it could be a lot worse. Could be like what the Jets are right now, and Adam Gase just ruining Trevor Lawrence like he did with Sam Darnold. That does not appear to be the case here. As in year 2, Trevor Lawrence finished with 4,200 yards, 37 touchdowns. The 10 interceptions, might have played himself into the MVP shortlist. 260-2. Booth there, as you can see, for the rookie out of Utah, that is not... It's not an amazing year. That's like an above average rookie running back season. But given the fact that he was our lead back, 3.6 yards per carry, you'd want to see maybe a smidge above that. Jamison Crowder continues to have a phenomenal rapport with Trevor Lawrence. 1,100 yards there, 14 touchdowns. Almost 9-3 there for Denzel Mims, 820-5 for Rashad Bateman, 770-8 for Kolar. So, and even Booth got some production out the backfield. Really, looking at these numbers, that's not bad. Those are not brutal numbers, especially here in the Madden sim. So let's see overall. We're the 20th offense, but overall for the yearly awards, in his second season, Trevor Lawrence coming in at number 4 in the MVP race, which is exactly what you're looking for if you are the Jets. I mean, you would hope that the rest of the team would pick up the weight just a little bit and you wouldn't go back-to-back 7-9, but it's a good starting base here for Trevor Lawrence. And I would say, at minimum, we could say that Trevor Lawrence has lived up to the hype so far through 2 years in the NFL. Oh, look, it does exist, turning on auto sign. So there we go. We literally last year, we just wanted no part of free agency. We were able to add in, I don't know why we got in Rashad Penny, even though we just burned a first-round pick on Booth, but they decided to bring in Rashad Penny, and fine. If that helps us have a little bit more balanced attack, that's all well and good. We got Shaq Lawson here as an outside linebacker, Matt Paradis as our brand-new center, the veteran who spent some time with the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. I mean, look at some of the players that were available there. I mean, if we're going in running back, Kareem Hunt would have been nice, or Rodney Hudson at center would have been nice, or throwing in another speedster on the outside would have been nice, but kind of dealt, again, this is more so focusing on the career of Trevor Lawrence, and if you're just focusing primarily on Trevor Lawrence, I mean, Trevor Lawrence isn't, especially year 2, is not going to have pull in terms of what players the franchise goes out and signs as free agents to help improve the roster. So from that standpoint, we're kind of getting a realistic experience of being a very good quarterback on a very, mismanaged team, I guess we could say politely. This draft's looking nice. I mean, they didn't really help out the offense a whole lot. They went heavy on the defensive side of the ball. Generally, those ratings are pretty good. But in the first round here, we got Dominique Henderson, hidden dev corner out of Oklahoma, 5'9", 180, fits the scheme as a slot corner. So that's a great pick. Anytime you can hit on a hidden dev player in these drafts, it's nice. And then we got Lonnie Tarrant from Louisville, 6 feet, 207, free safety. Don't necessarily know why we did this move. Ashton Davis is, I think, more than fine enough, but I guess, you could probably shift Tarrant or Ashton Davis to strong safety if Marcus May, he's getting up there in the age. He's getting a little long in the tooth, so not a bad draft. We're starting to see the offense grow and develop here. Year 3, Trevor Lawrence, 89 superstar. Still waiting for that X factor, but Jamison Crowder got the hookup. He's an X factor playmaker out of that slot with the grab and smash superstar X factor ability. And through 2 years, he's been lights out with Trevor Lawrence. That connection is legit. Rashad Penny comes in via free agency to hopefully add a little bit more danger to our ground attack. The offensive line, as it stands, is still fairly solid. I would say Cosme's developing a little bit slower than expected for a offensive lineman with a pretty nice dev trait, but I assume, I'm straight up using Madden default slider, so it is what it is, and not my regular rebuild ones to get maybe a more authentic experience, even though I think it's kind of shit. Defense is picking it up, though. Like I said, we hit on that first-round draft pick with a hidden depth trait. So the offense very much last year wasn't the problem. The defense just was not shutting teams out enough. So maybe with the emphasis on the defensive side of the ball in the draft and free agency, things will change here in year 3. We are back at the end of year 3 where the Jets, hey, at least it wasn't 7-9, finished 6-10. 6-10. And a personal worst so far here. Well, focus is still on Trevor Lawrence. Everything's been good with him. He's still developing nicely. 93 superstar, 3 years into the league. Looking at his stats here. Still playing at a pretty high level. 4,100 yards, 36 touchdowns, 18 picks, interceptions. Definitely, that's a little too much. But clearly, with how things are going, he's probably playing hero ball and forcing the ball, trying to feel like he has to carry the offense. Because yet again, still unable to find any consistency running the ball. In terms of receiving, I mean, Jamison Crowder. I mean, looks like Trevor Lawrence is going to put Crowder in the Hall of Fame here with this stretch of games. 970 and 9 touchdowns from him, so a little bit of a breakout year there. Bateman with a solid season. Kolar, I mean, the yards were solid, but got to find a way to get some team success. You know, that's the mantra of a franchise quarterback, in my opinion, is to elevate your team. When you might not have a playoff caliber team, but when you have a quarterback that's good enough, he'll make everyone else around him playoff caliber as well. And that's just not happening so far through 3 years with Trevor Lawrence on the Jets. Free agency, they are just hard pressed on fixing the running game here. Going in on Ronald Jones, giving him a 3-year, almost $20 million deal. He's 87, so it's, in terms of overall, definitely the highest overall running back we've had. We brought in Coleman there to the secondary, where Henderson, our first-round hidden dev pick from a year ago, is a superstar X factor. Okay, little mini Darrelle Revis we got here. We got Neiman at middle linebacker, Nick Harris, formerly of the Washington Huskies, at center. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, they're trying to help the offense, I suppose, and try to find that 1,000-yard running back to have that balance. A little more of a low-key draft here. We got Martin McLeod, 70 normal dev guard out of Clemson. Second round, Calvin Moore, 70 normal dev D tackle out of South Carolina. Maybe the best value pick came here in the 4th round. Braxton Harper, the outside linebacker from Middle Tennessee State, 69 overall with a hidden dev trait, speed rusher. So, I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm absolutely intrigued. How many more years can we have Pernell McPhee holding down outside linebackers? It's about time we inject some youth to our edge rushers. Not surprisingly, at the end of year 4, they didn't even pick up the 5th-year option. They immediately wanted to re-sign Trevor Lawrence. So it might be a very long time before we see him move on, as he now has a 8-year contract. I think it's upwards of like Jesus. The bonus, like that's like 250 plus for Trevor Lawrence. So getting the big time payday here for the Jets. And then through that 4-year process, he's finally made the playoffs, cracked the playoffs, 9-7, tied for first place in the AFC East. Congratulations to him finally being able to put it all together. Looking at stats there, top 10 in passing yards with 4,200 passing yards, 30 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. The run game, I mean, no matter how much money we're throwing at it, it is just, you know, it's a committee at best. Jamison Crowder had his worst year, but it's still pretty damn productive. Not a bad year for Mims, Kolar, or Rashad Bateman as well. But here we go. First playoffs for Trevor Lawrence, who, you know, is looking to set records and become the all-time GOAT for the New York Jets. And it all starts here against the 11-5 Broncos. Okay, so in his first playoff game, he just decides to body the entire Denver Broncos organization. 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. As Trevor Lawrence, in his first playoff game, 59 points as the Jets move on to the AFC divisional round, 59-31 over the Denver Broncos. I guess we used up all our points, as in the following round, no touchdowns. 27-6, they fall to the Tennessee Titans, but at least what's more important is, okay, we just lost James. What's more important, though, is we got that first win, that first playoff win for Trevor Lawrence under the belt that we can build on here for the remaining 8 years. So teams that usually like break a drought of making the playoffs, when things look like they're getting ready to turn a corner, that's when you make your jump into free agency. Like that's what the Philadelphia Eagles did. All right, we got Carson Wentz on that rookie contract, and while we're there, you kind of realize this might be our window. Let's go all in on free agency, try to improve this team, not just through the draft, but bring in some big money free agents, and we didn't even bring in anybody, with the likes of A lot of good players available. Nice. Followed by sitting on our hands in free agency with, kind of an average draft. No amazing players, no players with dev traits or anything like that. Just, getting guys that are, I guess, close to a 70 overall and going very heavy on the defensive side of the ball yet again with a strong safety, corner, D tackle, our first 3 selections in the draft. So with no free agent signs, I guess they determined that this offense is good enough. Give them another year. Mekhi Becton's up to a 90. Deontay Brown 76. We got Harris McLeod. Sam Cosme's an 84. Kolar got himself a dev trait off the normal dev. He is an 81 star. He's been pretty goddamn consistent so far since he's entered the league. Bateman's been solid. We still got Terrace Marshall, Denzel Mims. The X Factor, Jamison Crowder, has started to regress, but he's still going to be a tough mismatch, a tough assignment, working out of the slot. Ronald Jones, let's see what he can do. But looking at Trevor Lawrence, man, still no dents in his armor, even though we've maybe underwhelmed now at this point. At least the roster decisions have been a little bit underwhelming. But 96, superstar. It's only a matter of time, I think, until he hits that X factor. So let's keep on keeping on. Year 5 has concluded for Jets and Trevor Lawrence. 8-8. Yeah, I guess. I feel like that's kind of what we deserve after not doing anything in free agency and with a bang on average draft. But there we go, man. Trevor Lawrence, first in passing yards, top 5 in touchdowns. Again, interceptions a little high. I'd love to see those interceptions under a dozen, but still 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 18 picks. Run game, still remains what it is. Another huge year from Jamison Crowder, over 1,000 yards to the tight end, Charlie Kolar. 8-7 for Mims, 7-3 for Bateman. Not bad, man. Again, the offense is doing its job. Defensively, we have some studs. Yeah, we absolutely have some studs on the defensive side of the ball. We have the X factor there in Henderson, who got the shutdown ability, so that should be goddamn good. Quinton Williams, 93, superstar. Harper, that hidden dev 4th round linebacker, another superstar dev. So full kudos. For every year this team sits out free agency, we seem to be getting like a stud in the draft. The AI has drafted me a superstar edge rusher and an X factor corner. So I'm pretty goddamn happy with that. But it's still not good enough. It's still, we need to make a big move. I need this team to make a splash in free agency. Just get one player. Just get one player to get the needle moving. Thank you. Thank you. We got this guy, Donovan Thurston. Wide receiver, 84 superstar deep threat. We got Paul Higgins, 80 star dev DN. We got Jeremiah Moon of the Florida Gators, 78 outside linebacker. Damon Arnett Jr., the former 1st round pick of the Oakland Raiders. That's not bad, 78 star. He's already coming in as our corner too. That's the kind of draft I'm looking for. That is absolutely, we're getting guys that are in at least conversation for top 10 of their respective. That is huge. Thurston with Bateman. And you still got Crowder doing his thing out the slot. That could be the needle mover that we're asking for. Follow it up with a good draft, and year 6, year 7, it's going to be looking good. Unfortunately, we follow up our best free agency with our worst draft. All normal devs. No one really to write home about, with a 68 normal dev D tackle as our premier pick of the bunch. But with the addition of Thurston, great name, the offense, maybe, All right. So Jamison Crowder retired. That's probably why we went aggressive for Thurston in free agency. But, I still have a lot of confidence in our wide receiver core. Denzel Mims, step up, or step out. Running backs, Ronald Jones regressed just a little bit. The O-line is finally starting to come around outside of the center spot, where it's a little thin. It's a little thin at center, but the tackles are good. The tight end's good. Defensively, it's fine. Arnett, that's the offense. We're going to need Trevor Lawrence. Continue playing like a top 5 quarterback. Good things are going to happen. Oh, yeah. Just also, superstar X Factor. Got first one is free, because when I watch Trevor Lawrence play at Clemson, the number one thing I think about is his fake out ability. His fake out ability. Unreal. Year 7 for Trevor Lawrence is in the books, and it was not very good. 8-8. Again, it's not bad. It's not very. It's mediocrity. And you're starting to wonder, at this point in his career, going on 7th year, going on his 8th year, is he going to become that next, Matt Stafford? Maybe you could say almost Deshaun Watson, potentially, if you're a little bit worried, if you're a Houston Texan fan, of an uber insanely talented quarterback, generational quarterback, borderline. I mean, I don't want to say Matt Stafford's like first ballot Hall of Famer, but in terms of talent, arm talent, Matt Stafford had a lot of things that he should have had a more successful career than what he's had with the Detroit Lions. And I kind of think maybe something like that could be happening for Deshaun Watson, but luckily, he still has life beyond Bill O'Brien to see what happens. But you know what I'm saying? You know those types of quarterbacks. It's starting to feel like that, unfortunately, could be the case here for Trevor Lawrence, where just the organization is failing him on many levels, even though he continues to dominate and be one of the best players at his position. Finished the year, 4,400 yards, 33 touchdowns, 8 picks, so very much worked on his accuracy and turning the ball over, protecting the football. Run game's garbage. Thurston, though, for being our big money free agency signing, I'll take that, especially for picking up where Jamison Crowder left off. 94 catches, 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards for Bateman. Mims with a solid year, Kohler with a solid year. And it's just, more 8-8 bullshit. So let's see, free agency to try to take this team over the hump. All right, it's pretty much like a holding pattern of we'll get 2 guys on the defense side of the ball that could be solid. McLeod looks pretty nice too for the dev trait. And then just continually to try to find running backs. We got James Robinson, who's had a breakout year this year as an undrafted free agent for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm personally a big fan. Got him in my fantasy league. Can he be the guy to finally go over 1,000 yards in this Jets backfield and add that balance to help out Trevor Lawrence? For the draft, our team continues this weird fascination with drafting and signing safeties, but at least our top pick looks, dev trait. Devontae McKell out of Louisville. Wonder if he's related, probably Quentin McKell's kid, if you're an Eagles fan, remember him. At 71, hidden dev. Sure, why not? Starting to sense a theme here. 8-8. Well, he's still good. 8-8 in year 8. Sure. That's what's going on here. Trevor Lawrence, solid year. I guess interceptions are kind of creeping back up there again, but almost 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns, 15 picks. Our best running back performance so far for the veteran James Robinson. No 1,000-yard receiver, but solid year from Thurston, Bateman, and Mims. Even Kohler. I mean, again, this offense has been solid. The defense has been what's kind of crippling us, unfortunately. Not getting any pressure. Henderson kind of wasting the best corner that the Jets have had since Darrelle Revis and Revis Island. So it's getting borderline frustrating at this point. And you might have to consider that maybe Trevor Lawrence might not re-sign whenever the end of this contract. I think he has a couple years left. But, we could very well get to a scenario where Trevor Lawrence gets sick of all this garbage that's dealing with the Jets organization and chase a Super Bowl at the end of his career. But we're still here with the Jets. Let's keep on keeping on. Free agency as we gear up for year 9. And they decided they don't want to help out Trevor Lawrence. Cool. Draft wasn't bad, though. We got Lionel Newton, the 76 corner from Buffalo in the first round with that normal dev, but still looks like a pretty good player. And in the 4th round, we got a 68 hidden dev outside linebacker. Last time we got a hidden dev outside linebacker in the 4th round, he turned out to be a superstar. But again, just questions come like, is this enough? Is this enough to make the defense match the offense's production so that we can have some complimentary football and start winning some playoff games for the Jets? I don't know. All right, perfect time. Well, midway through his career, posts the worst season yet. 5-11 for this 88 overall squad. Huh. All right. Okay. Well, did Trevor Lawrence play well? Sure did. Top 5 in passing yards, top 10 in touchdowns. He continues to be lights out as expected. No run game, no 1,000-yard receiver. Can we please stop failing Trevor Lawrence as an organization, the New York Jets? That's all I'm asking. Well, at least we didn't go the whole entire free agent period without signing one. We got Caleb Randolph, solid to, average to above average looking outside linebacker, edge rusher, which is a 6-point upgrade over what we had. But is that going to be enough? Is that what we were missing? Or were we a Caleb Randolph away from making the playoffs last year? I don't know. Like this draft. Very happy with this draft. First round, top 10 pick. We got Andrew Lennon, D tackle at USC, would be a defensive end in this scheme. 77 normal dev, so definitely a top 10 player in true talent. Second round, we got Rodney Majette, middle linebacker from Texas A&M, 72 with a hidden dev. Very happy with that. We got a 66 there. We got a 67. We just draft hidden dev outside linebackers. This is what we do for the Jets. Out of Florida, Silas Telfer looks pretty good. And then in the 6th round, we got Keon Pippin, maybe like Scotty's kid or something like that. A 68 hidden dev corner out of Nebraska. Brings some great length on the outside. 6'2", 187 with 93 speed. Our best draft since year 1. We geared up for year 9 for Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to change it up a little bit. We're going to help him with the playbook. We're going to go spread. We're going to go with the spread playbook because we have nothing at running back. I do not want to run the ball. We just need to aerate it. We have our 3 best players. We have maybe in the NFL the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver with a tight end in the league. So let's maximize that. We have a strong offensive line. Let's keep Trevor Lawrence upright and let's let him air this thing out 40 times a game. Okay, we're going to reinvent it. On the defensive side of the ball, Quinnen Williams is now a superstar X Factor at 97. Like, this is a good defense. A very good defense. Like the linebacker, we got dev traits. We have only 2 guys that are starters that have normal dev. Randolph, our lone free agency signing, and Moore, who's still an 85, which is really, really solid. So I just feel like this is going to be the year. I don't know why, because we were god-awful last year, but I feel like this is a makings of going on a little bit of a playoff run here for Trevor Lawrence in year 9. This is what I'm talking about. It only took us 9 years. We got a breakout scenario here for Nick Beckwith. I think he's our running back. But it only took 9 years. And we are finally a legit team. Still couldn't even win the AFC East outright behind the Dolphins, but 11-5 is good for the Jets. It's very good for the Jets. It's good for business. It's best for business. And I mean, Lawrence, I mean, he didn't play amazing. He's not going to be winning the MVP or anything like that, but still over 4,000 yards, 30-plus touchdowns. I will take that. If this is a bad year for Trevor Lawrence, I will take that. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns there for Thurston. We got Crutch. I mean, we got a bunch of role players now. We still got Bateman and Kolar doing their thing, but now they're grizzled veterans. They are pretty much what they are, and we're going to need guys like Thurston to step up and make some plays. Yearly awards, let me see. Did he even get some respect? Yeah, there you go, number 5 for MVP. Sure. But it's a playoff push, a playoff run that the people want. But that is not what you want to see for your second ever playoff game, which is what we're going into for Trevor Lawrence. An 8-8 Chargers team is terrifying in the sim. But fear was not in this Jets team as we knocked off the Chargers 35-30 in a game between Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, two of the best young quarterbacks presently in football. Now, at this point in their career, still playing at a high level. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick for Trevor Lawrence on the day. Good little connection. My God, Jalen Waddle. Jalen, really? They got Jalen Waddle. Justin Herbert got himself Jalen Waddle. We got Thurston, but it wasn't good enough. It's a nice victory, and we're moving on. We're really going through like a who's who of young, studly quarterbacks present in this run. First, we had Herbert and the Chargers. Now we had Joe Burrow and the Bengals and able to outlast them there, even though they were making a strong push there in the fourth quarter with 14 points. 28-21, the Jets have punched their ticket to the AFC Championship game on the back of 6 touchdowns, 2 picks over the last 2 games for Trevor Lawrence, outdueling Joe Burrow here today. This Crutchfield guy is pretty much automatic for touchdowns as the Jets are trying to make history and win their second ever Super Bowl. What better way to do it? Against divisional rival 13-3 Dolphins. We get to see right away who the best team is from the AFC East this year. Let's see. Come on. Come on, boys. Get to the Super Bowl. Fuck. Oh, it's not what we were looking for. 24-17. We fall. God damn it. And of course it would be a shutout again. All right, back to the draw. At least we're seeing some progress. We saw some progress this year. Being so close to a Super Bowl, what moves was this Jets organization able to make to try and seal the deal? That's a nice pick. An 80 star dev, only 28, an 8-point upgrade over what we had. That's not a bad pay. That's actually pretty affordable. Getting that under $3 million. It's not a splash move, but it's not a bad move. It's an effective move. Let's follow up with another good draft and build upon our playoff success. And not a very good draft. Really trying to help out the backfield here. We got Pat McDaniels from Rice. That's a football juggernaut there. 72. I mean, it's not brutal. The best pick, the value pick, might have been candidate the candidate, the presidential candidate, Gilbert Candidate from Purdue, 63. But he did have a hidden dev, the only hidden dev player that we were able to add in. So it could be more of a long-term play, but kind of a meh offseason in general from the Jets. Year 10 for Trevor Lawrence and the Jets. Get back in the playoffs at least. 9-7. It's not an amazing record. Still searching for our first AFC East title. And given the fact that literally there was like no additions to the offense, like I'm not just, like skipping showing you guys what the team looks like at the beginning of the year. Like if there's no changes, there's no real changes. And it's pretty much the exact same offense. And everything runs through the quarterback. And he did good. He did well enough this year. Look at that. Actually, statistically, a dip in production. But probably the decline of his skill position players has something to do with it. Still able to find a way to make the playoffs, though. God, has there been like a worse running back attack? Thurston goes over 1,000 yards, though, which is nice. Kolar and Bateman are playing fine. Yearly awards, I mean, he's not going to win the MVP by any means. Didn't even make the short list. So, team success over individual success was the mantra here in year 10 in a rematch from last year, where Trevor Lawrence got the better of Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card. And for fuck's sakes, one and done. Free agency was, depth. Got some solid. I mean, they're starters, but they're, no world beaters. And this draft was the shits. So just to see how this offense is pretty much on life support at this point. Year number 11. Still, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, premier player at his position. He's only 30. So it's looking good there. Wide receivers, it is what it is. Thurston and Bateman. We still got Kolar, Cosme, and Becton. McLeod's been here for quite some time, but obviously just pretty much abandoning the right. It's literally Matt Stafford. We got good wide receivers. Just don't care about the run game. And for the most part, the defensive side of the ball. So, no idea what to expect here in year 11. Okay, so for full transparency here, Trevor Lawrence, it's at the end of that mega 8-year contract, and clearly there is no light at the end of the tunnel for this Jets organization. So we are going to do what 99% would happen in real life in this situation. Trevor Lawrence would go, I don't care how much money you're going to throw my way. I'm not going to pull Matt Stafford. I'm going to go see if there's greener pastures somewhere else. So we are going to let Trevor Lawrence hit free agency. And hey, there's a chance still. If he hits free agency, the Jets still pay him enough money, he comes back. But maybe a chance at a different team to shake things up. That's what's going to happen. So we'll pick that up right when we get to it in the offseason. Where is he going to go? It would be nice if he goes to Atlanta. That'd be pretty cool. So we finished the assumed final year with Adam Gase and Trevor Lawrence here in New York with a 6-10 record. Trevor Lawrence finished with, average numbers, 3,600 yards, 28 touchdowns to 12 picks. Still no running game. Wide receiver, I don't want to dog the wide receivers. Kolar and Bateman have been kind of solid. Looking at the career stats for all of these guys, because this is going to be pretty much ending a chapter here. Those are still pretty damn good numbers for Trevor Lawrence. 46,000 passing yards. 359 touchdowns to 131 picks. He also is the leading rusher on the team because obviously no one else has been able to rush. But full credit. Bateman has been very good in his career. He might hit 10,000 receiving yards when it's all said and done. 8,055 there for Kolar. But enough is enough. It's time for a change, to quote the great Owen Hart. Let's see where we go in the offseason. Okay, so because I have everything auto, I have no idea. I couldn't even go in and see what other free agents were available at the position. So let's see. Where are we taking our talents? Trevor Lawrence. So let's see. They got Tua is now on the Jets. They re-signed Rashad Bateman. But where are we Trevor Lawrence. Oh, don't be somewhere terrible. Trevor Lawrence. Oh, we're going to the Giants, baby. Staying in New York. That is a revenge tour if I've ever seen one. So here we go. Just like that, staying in New Jersey. This is our Jets team. Actually, let's look at the draft, and then we'll look at the big picture. So for the draft, the Jets followed up the massive signing of Trevor Lawrence by getting a 75 overall D tackle. We got a 71 wide receiver. Already a very good draft. 72 D tackle here. Manny Hawkins out of Florida. So looking at the big depth chart, the kind of playmakers. Are we going to have much luck? full credit. That Jets team wasn't bad. Like, that was like a fringe 90 overall Jets team for most of Trevor Lawrence's tenure there, and it wasn't good enough. But look at here. Well, there's no more Saquon. We got an 8 couple running backs. Ross at wide receiver. We have Ben Bryant, 91 star. We have a Jeremiah Matthews at a Ferris State. Okay, 87 star. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a white slot wide receiver, there's a pretty good shot that unless you are Hunter Renfrow, you probably came from some ridiculous college. Eric Shepard at a Bowling Green, so small school kind of team here. We got Fitzsimmons at center. Mike Fitzsimmons, 98 overall. So one of the best centers. Generally offensive lines, about average. You got a 78 star tight end. Defensively, okay. Okay, we got a superstar there. The linebacking core is average. The safety tandem looks good. Secondary, we got a superstar X Factor, Cam Gilmore out of Oklahoma State, 6'3", and he's only 24. So he's just about entering his prime. On the D-line, Curtis, 29-93. We have Manning, 98 overall. Defensive tackle at UCLA. He's 30, though, so these guys are in their prime. It's a little bit of a win now. Patrick Surtain out of Alabama still doing his thing on the outside. They got Israel Mukwamu from South Carolina. Hey, let's see what we can do here. I'm not going to put any goals, any lofty expectations. I just want to see a little bit better. That's all I'm asking. Our first season with the New York Jets, 10-6 and a divisional title. So already achieving things that we were unable to achieve with the New York Jets. Here with the Giants, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's a new system, new players, so I wasn't expecting necessarily to light the league up in his first year, but still, generally 4,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 5 picks. The run game, we actually had, no 1,000-yard rusher, but 13 touchdowns is very nice. 1,000-yard receiver here, Eric Shepard, the young player out of Bowling Green. Bryant with 9 touchdowns. Russell with 8 touchdowns. Not bad. Those aren't bad numbers, and it feels nice to finally have a little bit of production there. And the team success was good, and the individual success was acceptable. So in the first round, come on, don't be one and done. We got the 9-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shit. 38-7. Okay, but we're only going to build on it. It's a brand new team. It's a new chapter in Trevor Lawrence's life. We're only going to build on this. Year 2 with the Giants. Let's go. So the first free agency with the Giants, they spent some money. They went out to try to improve the offensive line a little bit. We got a tight end, Alex Leatherwood of Alabama. We got some veterans, superstar, linebacker. But, nothing, franchise-altering. Well, look at the draft. I'm already a fan. In the first round, trying to help out Trevor Lawrence, we got Daryl DeLoach from TCU, 76 normal dev, but a burner, 95 speed, 85 catching, 82 deep route running, 96 agility. That is the kind of playmaker you always want to see when you are a quarterback. We also had a nice little value pick here in the 6th round. Trent Potter from Cal, 65, but has a hidden dev trait, so maybe he can emerge as a playmaker on the defense. Okay, surprise. Let's just see. So we're sitting here, Trevor Lawrence, year 2 with the New York Giants, 33, and in the twilight of his career, but still playing at a high level. Did we make the playoffs after that uninspiring offseason? Nope. 9-7's not bad, but the NFC East is no longer the NFC least. And here we are, another year kind of burned of Trevor Lawrence. That candle doesn't got a whole lot of wick left. So, a year that's not bad. 32 touchdowns, 6 picks. Again, he's no matter where he goes, no matter what team he's going to, he's Matt Stafford. Just no run game. Nothing to help out balance the offense here. Got some okay playmakers, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns for Eric Shepard, but it's still just not good enough. And if the Giants made that big money splash to bring Trevor Lawrence over, you got to help him out this offseason, man. You only got probably 2-3 years max left. Your window's shrinking. Give me some players around that we can make some plays and make a deep playoff run with. And with our plea for help, that's not going to help. And the draft wasn't much better. We got some solid role players, a 56 overall backup. 71 running back, Jacquez Tyson out of Cal was our best pick of the draft in the 3rd round. Oh my God, we're getting squandered yet again. Another franchise. New York just doesn't know how to handle Trevor Lawrence. But at this point, the only thing that we can do to help Trevor Lawrence, I'll get the retirement influence, so hopefully he stays as long as humanly possible. Maybe we can get a nice little Brady run out of him. He plays till he's 45. Team's not bad. It's 86. It's just, is it good enough? The rest of the league keeps getting better, and we're just, kind of screwing the pooch here, especially in free agency. We have the money. They got like 30, 40 million bucks, and you continue to like, all right, well, the left-hand side of the O-line's a 70 to 65. All right, good luck, Trevor. Good luck. You are gonna need it here in year 14. So Trevor Lawrence has actually turned down the initial offer here from the Giants. So what I'm going to do, because obviously when it comes to controlling Trevor Lawrence, we'll have some liberty. Let's get to the end of the year. If we can make the playoffs, we'll stay. If not, we'll leave that first contract refusal as is. And we actually do find a way to make the playoffs at 10-6. So we will have that opportunity at the end of this playoff run to offer Trevor Lawrence another contract, act as the Giants to offer one. If not, maybe we'll go to our third team. I actually only had intentions of maybe only going to 2, but it could very well be in play depending on what goes. I would say, I will just generally put in another offer here, but maybe we'll make a more generous offer if we win a couple playoff games here. But we finished 10-6, second place in the NFC East. Statistically, Trevor Lawrence is playing some of the best football of his career. 4,100 yards, 44 touchdowns, 5 picks. I don't know why you wouldn't want to. Like, the offense is operating and firing at all cylinders. He had 47 total touchdowns with the 3 rushing touchdowns he was able to add in. Okay. I think it makes sense for Trevor Lawrence to stick around here. Defensively, it is what it is. 8 picks, Cam Gilmore, my friggin' God. But can we not be one and done? That would be the best thing here. We kick things off 10-6, Arizona. And of course, we're one and done. But statistically speaking, if you're Trevor Lawrence, there's optimism. There's a sense of optimism that it might not get a lot better elsewhere. So let's see what happens. I think we get one more opportunity here. We'll give him a competitive offer, acting as the Giants. Maybe I just more so I should act as his agent. If Trevor Lawrence was my client and we just had a big year like that, I'd be like, well, maybe. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of other teams out there that make a lot of sense. So let's come with the best offer here. 2 years. We'll give him 22 signing bonus. We'll just go right away and give him a huge signing bonus. And probably 18. Like, that would be if he doesn't, we're going to another team. If we do, that's a very good offer. $40 million over 2 years. And he will stick around 2 more years for the Giants, most likely finishing his career here in New York, where it started. So in paying Trevor Lawrence what we did, I probably, don't have a lot of money to spend and throw around in free agency. As you can see, they literally had some, but they didn't want to improve the team that way. The draft, however, was much better. So it's like one of my friggin' drafts. 5th round here, we got a 71 wide receiver, Penn State. 4th round, 72 hidden dev D tackle at a Georgia Tech, Felix Bennett. That looks nice. You got a 71 wide receiver to help with the offense, Zeke McClain out of Oregon State. And then we got a 75 outside linebacker, Darian White out of Oregon. Not bad. So that's a hell of a draft. Makes up for the lackadaisical offseason. Now you got 2 more years. Locked in at Trevor Lawrence. Let's go. As we start year 15, finally, Trevor Lawrence is off that 99 overall. But I'm sure if he throws another 40-some plus touchdowns, we'll get right back to that 99 club. It's phenomenal. He's I don't know what he is on quarterbacks. He's number 2 ranked. There's only one other quarterback better. It would be actually interesting. Let's go see what that is. But stats, he's been amazing. He's been actually amazing. So, actually, let me see that. I want to see who is potentially, well, not potentially, I know. Who's the higher overall quarterback in the NFL? Is it Justin Fields? Because that'd be interesting. It's this guy. Oh, there's a couple. Right? Is there only, it's Jalen Carter of Florida. Okay, Trey Lance 93, Justin Fields 91, still doing their thing. Mahomes down there is an 88 on the Lions. All right, let's go, man. Trevor Lawrence, 44 touchdowns a year ago. We replicate that again for sure. We'll have another crack at the playoffs. There we go. So I'm talking about might not be pretty, but sneaking in the playoffs. 9-7, 3rd place in the East, which is once again like the early 2000s, back on top as the best division in football. As Trevor Lawrence, has he got back to 99? I assume he would have. No, he's still stuck there at 98. So that means it might not have been as fruitful as the season as I would have assumed statistically. That's not bad, though. 3rd in touchdowns, 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns. On the receiving standpoint, Ben Bryant, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. I feel like that exact same stat line was we hit that 2 times with Jamison Crowder when we were on the Jets. That wouldn't be copy and paste, would it? Either way, made the playoffs. Can we not be one and done? I don't know how many much more of these we got. And the Giants, they They roll them. 45 bomb. 45-3. Trevor Lawrence ain't taking no shit. 4 touchdowns, no picks. Giants are rolling. All right, let's do it, man. First round of the playoffs. We can't be one and done. Hey, we didn't just air raid it on them, but that's a victory we'll take. That's honestly a victory we'll take to put us in the championship game. 16-10 in overtime. Wish I could see what the final score was. Literally the final score. Like, was it a tutty? It must have been. Well, let's act like it was the touchdown pass. It was a touchdown pass thrown by Trevor Lawrence to put his team a game away from the Super Bowl. And it's like the last time we made it was us when we were the Jets against the Miami Dolphins, and here we have the New York Giants going up against Washington football team. Come on, it's in the stars. Trevor Lawrence is going to be Trevor Lawrence is going to have to wait another year to potentially be a Super Bowl champion as we lose in overtime this time. 37-31 to football team. Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence. Why is their experience different? They should have the same amount. He didn't cost us a game. He's been good in the playoffs. It's not like the whole Peyton Manning thing, right? Where Peyton Manning was outstanding during the regular season, but then he was not a good playoff quarterback. Same can't be said for Trevor Lawrence. He's been that close, but really that far away for winning a Super Bowl any of his seasons. So here's hoping he comes back for another one. I don't know, because we're at that point now. He could retire at any moment. And what could be the final year of Trevor Lawrence's illustrious career? Come on! These are not the guys that are going to, these weren't the players that we were missing to win a Super Bowl. Unreal. As for the draft, it's not a bad draft. 4 players, all 70 plus with normal devs. Again, though, I just have to question, is it enough? Year 16 now for Trevor Lawrence, now 35 years old, 96 overall. I decided now just kind of take a peek. Take a gander at some of the all-time records, because we know he just broke the 500 total touchdown mark. And just looking at the records here, for yards for passing, he's not even on the top 10. But for touchdowns, some very, very interesting names. We're just cracking the top 10 there with 501. Surely you would hope this season that we could at least move in, past Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. But look, Trey Lance for Washington football team, 541. Joe Burrow, 554. Lamar Jackson with 557. Okay, but hey, I definitely think we could probably catch Peyton Manning for sure. And that's, when all is said and done, even without a Super Bowl, that could go down as an all-time career for Joe Burrow. But, it would be nice, the cherry on top. Maybe, it's more so the cherry top. It's the second scoop of ice cream to win a Super Bowl. Maybe we'll have him this year. Who knows? All right, I'm not going to lie. I actually thought when I opened up to this menu after the sim, we didn't make the playoffs, but we actually have a first-round bye. We are the number 1 seed in the NFC here in 2036. Where, 14-2. Divisional title there for the Giants. Nice. First big season. We were a 96 for Trevor Lawrence, who I'm literally watching him play Virginia Tech right now, and he just threw an interception in the end zone. That didn't happen a whole lot here this season, as he's back up to a 99 overall with a +2 morale. Looking at what he was able to do statistically, because now we're just, we are kind of record chasing a little bit. Wasn't bad. 3rd most passing touchdowns in the league, 3,900 yards, 34 touchdowns, 5 picks. That's with Kevin Cross's 1,000-yard and double-digit touchdown. I think that's the best rushing season we've had. Matthews over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns for Eric Shepard. So the skill position players have never really been that much of a worry for us here in New York. But what I have done, Trevor Lawrence was set to be a free agent this year. I haven't signed any contracts. So that, look, we're getting the message here. Oh, he's not even talking about, we'll just act like Trevor Lawrence is talking about he might not be coming back next season. Because I really do feel like this is like that stage where it's all or nothing. We're like the reverse Tom Brady. We're like, maybe he wants to play this late into his career, but if he can't get it done with New York, it might not ever happen. So we're 14-2, the number 1 seed. How could this end up any other way than a Super Bowl appearance? Well, let's get through the first massive hurdle, which is Okay, well, Let's see where we're going next with Trevor Lawrence. Guys, oh my God, that's unreal. 89 overall team, #1 seed in the NFC. Well, whose fault was it? Can I put the blame on Trevor Lawrence? Or did he really, did he do his best? Did he have like 3 touchdowns, no picks? 2 touchdowns, 1 pick? Yeah. Not great. It's not what you're looking for. All right, actually, let's do it this way. Just because we're still committed to the Giants. I'm going to give him one offer. I'll give him like this last chance offer. If he takes it, we're staying here in New York. If he doesn't, one last team for Trevor Lawrence to try to win a Super Bowl with. So let's see. Is it going to be with the Giants or is it going to be elsewhere? He's going to free agency. There's still one more stop on this train ride to the Hall of Fame. And hopefully it's a step off at a city that's ready to win a Super Bowl. All right. Like last time he went to free agency, I have no idea how he's coming back. That's anticlimactic, but not shocking. All right. He had a change of heart, decided he wants to finish his career in the city that drafted him, except not playing in that city, and it's not the same team that drafted him. All right, so looking at our draft here, well, we got another running back, Terrell Person from Tulane, 76. It's good value. He's just your typical power back, though. Those are dime a dozen in the draft. Got a 72 hidden dev D tackle, Trent Sweat, 93 strike. He actually looks fairly solid. Okay, well, another year in New York. We went on a run last year. Shouldn't be that hard to replicate, I don't think. Let's go, year 17. He's regressing down to a 94, but still upper echelon, right? Doesn't this thing tell you where you rank in the league? He's still the #2 quarterback in the league. So, go, man. You got a chance. With this guy under center, we always have a chance. Okay, kind of glad we brought the band back together as the Giants. Get back into as the 1 seed. Let's go. Well, were we 14-2 last year? Or was it 12-4? Got a very short-term memory. May or may not be eating some lettuce that belongs to the devil. But 13-3 looks good. Looks good. So let's see what Trevor Lawrence did. Trevor Lawrence, there's a little bit of that regression, but at least he's, the interceptions are down, and it's just a little bit of a slower approach to try and, chase those records a little bit. Still, 28 touchdowns ain't bad, and we're at that spot where at least this team is we're getting complimentary football now. We got great defense, great sacks, great interceptions. Everything is great. Like that's what Donald Trump. It's great. It's huge. First round bye. That was a terrible Donald. I have a decent Donald Trump. I just can't do it right now. Not in the mindset. 13-3 against the 10-6 Panthers. Come on. He is Peyton Manning without the Super Bowls. For this year, I did the exact same thing. I did not re-sign Lawrence. So he's yet again a pending free agent. We could probably throw him that 1-year offer at this spot, right? He's still there. Right? Yeah, he's right there. Let's see. Is he coming back to New York? Why would he? Please leave. This is not working. Okay, he's going back to test out free agency. We can't rule it out. I'm not going to franchise tag him. I don't want to go that extreme. But just in case somehow, some way he does retire, an update on the stats, at least the career stats here. Trey Lance keeps on keeping on. Trevor Lawrence has now cracked it there. Was sitting nice. 69,000 passing yards. And he's up there. Past Peyton Manning. Justin Fields still doing his thing. But he passed Peyton Manning. Looks like he's closing in. I mean, Joe Burrow, Trey Lance, I think they're still playing for sure. Let's just see. Out of all these guys, who's still playing? Joe Burrow's gone. Justin Fields is still there. What? Okay, Lamar Jackson's still playing. Trey Lance is still there. Okay, there's still. How is Lamar? That's cover athlete privileges right there. All right, let's go right into the offseason here and see what happens with Trevor Lawrence. Could retire, but hopefully he lands with a different team. Thinking off the top, I don't know. Actually, again, Atlanta. I guess Atlanta would be the cool story for him to end up going. So Trevor Lawrence has decided to move on from New York and has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, taking over in Patrick Mahomes' old stomping grounds. Now a member of the Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to look at this draft, and then we'll get the big picture for the roster. We got a 70, all right, got an okay scheme fit defensive end in the Master Draft. Honestly, it was kind of shit. But let's look at the starting lineup. Okay, we were at 85 overall with the Giants. Now we're going to a worse team, 83. Our skill position players, we got Brian Copper, South Dakota, 92 X Factor. He's 34. So again, we're both in the same boat of chasing rings. Jefferson here, Devin Jefferson at a Nate. I love these schools. I love how Madden keeps the integrity of like big schools. Well, there we go. We got an Ole Miss wide receiver. But yeah, like those 83 Navy wide receivers and wherever the hell this guy came from, South Dakota. What are you, Adam Vinatieri? Offensive line is butt cheeks. Running back 81. I mean, doesn't look shabby. Again, veteran. We're like a very old team, very experienced team. Hopefully, this is not just like it's gonna be sad and depressing. Like it's like gonna be an old folks' home, retirement home. We got Hardison on the D line here, 90 superstar. We have 2 X Factor outside linebackers because that's what happens. Veteran there, Clark Nash, and we have Spears. This is a very old team. Like literally not one of our big name players, or high overall players anyways, is like under 25. Keys maybe? What do we got here? 24. There's our best young player. So, all right, it's a little bit of a, veteran. Let's go. It's an old folks home. Retirement league. But, where there's a will, there's a way. The team of vets get it down 11-5. AFC West, I'm not gonna lie, didn't look good. I go to the midway point, and I think they were like 3-4. So that's insane. Cool. So we have the wild card playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. Look at the stats. Trevor Lawrence back in the AFC, top 10 quarterback still. 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, only 3 picks. Not much of a rushing attack. Brian Copper, 1,200 yards. The other veteran of South Dakota, 12 touchdowns. An outstanding season. 9-6 there for the Navy. Greatest prospect Navy's ever produced. Defensively, complimentary football, not so much, but the offense, that's good. Makes me feel better about Trevor Lawrence and where he's at. So we have, okay, look, he's not the one that's talking about retirement. So we got Buffalo in the wild card. Come on, don't be one and done. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's not the classic one and done for Trevor Lawrence, as unfortunate as that is, but it's a reality. But a 1-point narrow victory here over the Buffalo Bills, 21-20. 2 touchdowns and a pick from Trevor Lawrence in year 18. Still playing like a young buck. And in the next round, we have 9-7 Baltimore. Lamar Jackson. I think he's still, for fuck's sake, I think he's still doing his thing. Falls short yet again, 28-21. Close game. Was it Lamar? Lamar will not die. Lamar Jackson will not die. And they hit us with the, I don't know what that is, trick play. They went for the fake. That looks like a fake. The deciding touchdown, this was a special teams fake kick. Unbelievable. And in the first way, I actually tried to sign him. I don't, I'm already thinking about the thumbnail. It's going to be a nightmare with more than 3 teams. But here we go. Trevor Lawrence is just, he's working the corners now, hopping from team to team. He's getting a little tarnish in his rep, a little disgusting, being completely honest with you. The climax, it's anticlimactic now when he leaves. But look, Copper, the Rams going all in from the Copper Lawrence connection that worked very well with Kansas City. Okay. Another all-in team. Let's go. So another new team. Don't get attached to the players. You never know. It's probably one and done. But they vest on the O-line here. Got Ken Allen, 70 overall offensive tackle from Missouri to help keep upright our quarterback. Look at the rest of this team here. The Rams. What's going on? So they have Copper. We got another 90 wide receiver. So they are very much going all in. Enrique Graham from Bama. Looks legit. Running back, not that special. Tight end's fine. Offensive line is, well, the right-hand side's kind of the pits, but the left-hand side's not bad. Above average. Defensively, well, sad there's no Donald, but that linebacking core looks pretty sick. Knox, 91 X Factor. Tommy Knox from Penn State. We have Gillespie from Central Florida. He's young. He's in his prime. Secondary, it's a solid secondary. Okay. Interesting team. Trevor Lawrence's first year in LA does not go as well as expected. We finished 6-10. It's like one of our worst records all time. And Trevor Lawrence has one more year left here in Rams. It was a 2-year deal that he signed. So unless he retires, looks like we're going 40, baby. We're going to 40. Statistically, Trevor Lawrence was, wow, not good. Noodle arm. He's not throwing picks up. He's playing like anti-Phillip Rivers here. 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks. Completion percentage, not particularly good. But look, he's climbing the record charts here. You know, plays another year. Could move into third all-time. Hopefully Lamar retires. Passing touchdowns, look at that. 616. Passing Trey Lance. Passing Joe Burrow. No way Justin Fields. So he's at least emerged as the best of the class. And, you know, you never know. If he's chasing records. He might want to be number 1 all time. We could have a guy that wants to play till he's 45 or something ridiculous like that. But at least we saw the records in case he does decide to retire. And then he's literally Peyton Manning without the great end to Peyton Manning's career with the Super Bowls. So, looking at the retirements, Trevor Lawrence, is he still here? Come on. Looking at NFC West, and he's still there, man, coming back. Not to say Brian Copper did not survive. Our wide receiver that followed us from Kansas City did not survive the retirements, but Trevor Lawrence, we're going for another year. So, again, we always going to pretty much present it as it's potentially Trevor Lawrence's last year. I mean, they went in a little bit. We got a couple starters. We got a new starter at DN, a new starter at running back. Brought in a upgrade at left defensive end and an upgrade at defensive tackle 2. Not a lot of help on the offense, though. That's nice. Exactly what we needed. All right, and to help improve the offense through the draft, we get 2 defensive ends and an outside linebacker. Okay. The regression is starting to hit here in year 20 for Trevor Lawrence. 39 years old. This could be the end. Could be the beginning of the end. Still 86. You better believe he's still got his X factor because we're not turning on that broken mechanic of regression. So he's still making guys, look like they're slipping on ice. You're 20. Let's get like one little Cinderella Super Bowl run. Come on, Trevor. Can't. Your goddamn legacy's tarnished right now without a Super Bowl. 2040's good time to be a Rams fan, baby. 10-6, sneaking in the wild card. Second place in the NFC West. 40-year-old Trevor Lawrence will not be denied. It has a throwback season. Absolute throwback. 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns. We had a little bit of chemistry here with Lehman at a Toledo, 83 wide receiver. Peel had a nice year at tight end. I mean, let's be honest. I know as much about these guys as you do because it's all about that man. QB 16. You know what? Just in case his last one, we'll give him the sim the moments at Soldier Field. Let's see it as close to firsthand as possible. What could be either his last game or the beginning of his last playoff run. Let's go, Trevor. Let's go, T-Law. You got this. It's just the Bears. They're not this is 40 years past what we know of the Bears are. They could not be a good defense anymore. Not the monsters of the midway because we're the friggin' Rams. And we got to score any points. I might need to come in and throw a tutty here if things get a little disrespectful. Because it's feeling like it's getting borderline disrespect. You're beating up. This is like senior abuse right now. 17-0. It feels like we've got let's come in here. It feels like we've got into their territory maybe twice all game. So just to say we got at least one touchdown here with Trevor Lawrence if we can. We got Graham at the top of the screen. I actually have no idea what difficulty this is on, which is phenomenal. But we're still just going to chuck it because we're an old man. Doesn't get both feet in. We missed the moment. But they ended up actually getting a touchdown anyways. It's over, though. Not a great final showing there for Trevor Lawrence. 51% completion percentage. Only 1 touchdown on the game. And he's at that point in his career, man. He's no longer a game changer. He's a guy that has to have a good team around him. And he can kind of move the pieces, be the director. But can't be the star of the show anymore. All-time records, check. Just before we end, he is 3rd in passing yards. One more season, he would definitely pass Drew Brees and be 2nd all-time. I don't think there's any way he's catching Tom Brady. But touchdowns for sure is in play if he comes back for one more year. 651 touchdown passes. Still has yet to throw 200 interceptions. That's like Aaron Rodgers' level of touchdown to interception ratio. Also able still to say, got 30 rushing touchdowns in the books, as well as almost 4,000 rushing yards. There we go. That was it. Trevor Lawrence retires after 20 years in the NFL. 3rd all-time in passing yards. 2nd all-time in touchdowns. No Super Bowl. So really, it's like if Peyton Manning played 20 years and didn't have those good years with the Colts and that good year with Denver, which, I mean, that's one of those things where it's, it's not a fair comparison because, you can't knock Peyton Manning for that anymore because he did finish with 2 Super Bowls. But, the reputation anyways, before he won those, was greatest regular season quarterback of all time, but never did anything in the playoffs. And unfortunately, after 20 years, that's kind of the conclusion we need to have with this Madden 21 Trevor Lawrence career sim. So that'll do it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope that the different twists here, trying to offer a little something different in the career sim market, it was a joy, and you guys enjoyed it, and we can come back. Obviously, there's a lot of interesting players that are currently in college, even out of college. Like, there's limitless opportunities, but that's the direction I kind of want to go with it. Not necessarily players that are already in the NFL, but looking at guys at college that, could be a part of the 2021 draft, like Trevor Lawrence, and we'll have Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, all those guys, and hell, even future years. There's some real, like Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma, friggin' that other Manning that's still in high school. We could do something crazy like that. So let me know your suggestions and how you guys felt about this series in the comment section below if you want to see it continue. Thank you for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. The thumbs up help this video get the old, push it up. They put it in the window on the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate that. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys back here on the next one tomorrow. Hoping it will probably be another episode of the Eagles. Could be episode 3 of the Baltimore Ravens Realistic Rebuild, but I'll see you guys back here then. Thanks for watching, and later.